by drawing a dog called Rufus with the pencils and paintbrushes in my hand. But what if I become my nemesis? I become my enemy. What if I dressed up as Rufus, complete with dog collar, and speak doggy voice, and star in a horror? Everyone to the slaughter, beware of his paws, deep in the water, Rufus is Jaws. Less Midsummer Murders, more Hitchcock thriller. Who controls who, and who is the killer? Is it all fiction, this whodunit of mine? Or is there some truth in who does the crime? He's got murder in mind, just look at those eyes. They might be all sweetness, but they're sugar and lies. Delicious, delicious, doggy delicious, but sweet baby Rufus can sometimes be vicious. He's one of the family, he's man's best friend, but in the dark of his kennel he's plotting your end. This might sound dramatic, can this get any absurder, but that bone that you give him is his weapon of murder. Not death by the ways you've read in crime fiction, but the kind the most gruesome by doggy infliction. The public are advised to stay well clear of a dog wanted in connection with a murder last year. His name is Rufus, he's gone on the run, age 7 in dog years and height 2'1". He wears a brown coat with patches of grey. Have you seen Rufus? Call 999 right away. 11:01 on CCTV, a car was caught speeding down the A23. A witness told police, although seen from afar, they spotted a dog at the wheel of the car. 11:56 in a sleepy cul-de-sac. He parks outside 16 and he sneaks round the back. 12:04 AM, barking and screaming, "That's Rufus! He's got a gun!" claims the neighbour. But I could have been dreaming. All of a sudden, in the dead of night, screams of "Rufus, have mercy!" gave me one hell of a fright. With my torch and my golf club, I entered next door, shivering with terror from the full horror in store, overcome by the sting of that sinking feeling when you see someone's blood dripping down from the up above ceiling. Upstairs in the bathroom, stone cold in the shower, laying a body in its final hour, drowning in blood in its own red liquor. Who could do such a thing? Who could get any sicker? It's clear who's the killer. Just look on the floor, trace of brown dog hair and the print of a paw. A dog is not just for Christmas, but for life is the measure. He's getting life for sure, behind bars, at His Majesty's pleasure. R for revenge, U for unkind, F for fanatic, U underlined, S is the sentence. Rufus has started, serving for murdering the dearly departed. Put those capital letters together, what do you get? R-U-F-U-S spells Rufus! Are your palms starting to sweat? These are all based on true stories. Hair by Margaret. Climb the staircase of the outside fire escape. The only way to reach Margaret's salon, she ran out of her top floor flat kitchen. Widows entertained with tea and gossip as cats clamoured over their chairs, taking residence on their laps, enjoying the company whilst having their fortnightly blue rinse. Mum went to Margaret. Her mum went to Margaret. Her mum went to Margaret. Hair as tradition, hair as family, hair as company, hair as uncanny, hair as scary. School holidays, I went with Mum to Margaret's. Hundreds of Victorian dogs staring at me as I waited alone in Margaret's living room, but I often had my cat Toby with me to keep me company. Upstairs, it was reported that an elderly woman died alone in her flat and was found weeks later, half eaten by her cats. I remember seeing the news on the front page of the local South London paper, headline reading, "Woman found eaten by cats." Imagine me reading that, age 5. One time in Margaret's living room, when I didn't have Toby with me, I somehow got locked in. I was frightened, scared. Mummy, Mummy, come and rescue me. But Mummy couldn't hear me because she was having her hair done. I imagined what would happen if I died. I imagined the headline reading, "Boy, aged 5, eaten alive by a horde of Victorian dolls." All things bright and beautiful. In Greek mythology, Leda and the Swan is a story in which the god Zeus, in the guise of a swan, seduces Leda, a Spartan queen, as a swan Zeus falls into her arms for protection from a pursuing eagle. Now, you may not believe me, but taxidermy, dating and the art of seduction go hand in hand with the joy and torture of desire. I remember a first date. He liked the macabre. We held hands walking through the galleries of stuffed animals at the Horniman Museum. My worst nightmare. I have taxidermy phobia. I walked through the whole time wearing sunglasses with my eyes shut for fear of seeing just one stuffed animal. When all of a sudden I trip on an electrical lead on the museum floor, my glasses fly off and there I am, face to face, locked eyes with a graceful stuffed swan. But this was no mythological seduction. It was like I was a matador and the swan was a bull. It just sort of crept up on me. My bus ride to the station, me buying a flat white, me fancying a man on the platform, all the people going about their business, it all seemed very normal. Sometimes I feel like I'm a taxidermy version of myself, stuffed, my dead body preserved to make it look like I'm moving and working, but actually all kinds of shit going on around my skeleton. When I was a little lad, 5 or 6, my cat Toby was run over by a number 155 on Balham High Road. The bus stopped and my granddad picked up the dead cat and told me he would put him in a little wooden box and bury him in his garden. We had a farewell ceremony. I remember having ice cream and jelly and wearing my He-Man t-shirt, but Grandad had lied. Toby was not in the box. I was sad for a few weeks, but didn't want to get another cat because Toby was my friend and he was irreplaceable. Then one day, Grandad said to me, "Lee, you don't need to be sad, you're going to see Toby again." Grandad, said I, "are we going in an aeroplane?" And I look out of the window and there is Toby sitting on a cloud. Aww. "No," said Grandad. That morning, he took me to the local Horniman Museum, and there was Toby, standing up wearing a black tuxedo with a white shirt, black tie, along with cufflinks, a pink carnation in his left pocket, and shoes that complemented his attire. Toby was one of 16 cats, including one in a wedding dress, as part of a cat's wedding display. The cats were not only taxidermies, they were also singing together as a choir. See, these were audio animatronic taxidermy cats with their mouths moving up and down to sing non-stop all day long the song, "All things bright and beautiful." Can you imagine what that did to a 5-year-old me, seeing my friend Toby in a wedding suit and singing a hymn? It was quite simply the most horrific thing I had ever seen. And I am sure that the best man was my friend Woody's cat Felix. Felix had a black mark on his face that I had never seen before on any other cat. I wouldn't be surprised, but what made it even more surreal and terrifying was that Toby's eyes were not his eyes, must have been fake ones put in the wrong way because Toby was cross-eyed. This is not how I want to remember you, my friend. Shock! The fertile mother of phobias. A phobia is a suppressed fear displaced onto an external object, both an expression of anxiety and a defence against it. Fleeing from an internal danger is a difficult enterprise, so wrote Sigmund Freud in 1909. Recently, I discovered that my friend liked stuffed animals, so I went to the Horniman as I knew the shop sold postcards with images of stuffed animals. I went to the counter and asked the lady to tell me their selection. "Choose one from me," I said, "but I can't see it." She chose a postcard from the taxidermy range and put it in a small paper bag. I paid for it and left having no idea what I had just bought. I wanted to write a message to him on the blank side of the postcard, and this meant having to look what was on the front. Squinting, I clocked 2 stuffed red squirrels out of the corner of my left eye. I quickly turned that side over and wrote my message of affection and put the card in an envelope. I would not be present when he undid the envelope for fear of seeing those squirrels again. Often I have a recurring dream. I express this inarticulable feeling that I often have in a sound, the idea in song, but it isn't that at all. It is just sounding. Ah! Guttural, loud and long, and that feels brilliant to express it without the restrictions and trappings of language. Screaming in front of a mirror to see myself as a person. I am talking to another person, my reflection in the mirror. I would never be that cruel to another person, because when I look in the mirror, I treat myself like a person as opposed to me. I treat myself with the respect, the love, the compassion that I deserve as a human being. As part of the dream, Toby is there with me. Although still taxidermied and with a moving motorised up and down mouthpiece, Toby, after listening to my scream, says, "Meow! Wow, Lee, I've learnt so much of your story now that you are no longer a little boy. There were no words at all, but I felt it all. I know it, and not all of it. I know that there's so much more, but so much depth was betrayed in that scream. And yeah, it felt open without language. Meow." I get out of bed this morning after having that recurring dream again, barefooted onto a carpet made of pins with their blades pointed upwards, the slow release of blood from my pinpricked feet, like performance artist Frank did on canvas years ago. Blood stained this world turned upside down around me. Then I just go about my day. I make a cup of tea. I'm at Tesco's. I'm buying lettuce. Oh yeah, a penny dropped very quickly. That feeling comes over me again, but where was Franco has a captive audience? There is no one watching me, just people on the bus to the station, people buying flat whites, men being fancied on the platform, people going about their business, and to them, things all seem very normal. Thank you. Feathers. Grief is the thing with feathers. Thank you, Max Porter. Your book, its words were illuminating to help me understand the boy, that boy I met. His body sculpted around sheets next to mine in a cotton thread, as sunlight at dawn pierced the contours of his frame. His bedroom slowly coming into being through the rising of the sun. A single clothes hanger sits on the doorknob of his wardrobe. I notice 3 picture frames, their imagery gradually coming into light. Out of frame, outside the box, feathers full. On cigarette ash where the marks of love's desire came and burnt, the softness and subtlety at which they fall. Silently are disturbed by the noise of us simultaneously asleep, letting off short bursts of laughter as we navigate dreamland, and they continue to fall. Onto the back of his torso frame, then tossed onto the floor full of feathers as we begin to awaken from our dreams. The boy is the thing with feathers. Told me I first man to ever buy him roses. They will, like you, I thought, stay beautiful even after the final petals fall.